Part 2. All right, well, we're back on the live stream. No need to do an introduction. If you guys are a little bit lost, go check out part 1. But yeah, we had a camera freeze for some reason, which sucks. So we're back here to do more discussions. But yeah, we were talking about Zorro. So yeah, I want to talk about more about it. I want to talk about the Fairbanks 20s film. I want to talk about the Tyrone Power 40s film by Fox, which technically is owned by Disney now, funny enough. Well, I mean, Disney already owns Zorro with the Guy Williams series, but now they own that too, which is interesting. But I want to talk about the Walt Disney show. I do want to talk about, like, because what sucks is the show's not on Disney Plus. They only have the one movie. So that really sucks. They don't have, you know, obviously the others. They only have like the movies with cut episodes. They don't have like the show itself. I don't know why Disney won't put it on Disney Plus. That would be a great place for people to be introduced to Zorro, and it's in color. So there's that. The Alain Delon 70s film I want to discuss, and I do want to discuss at some point the sequel to Mask of Zorro, but I do not care for that film, so it's really low on my radar. But at some point, yeah, I do want to talk about more about that. But yeah, so there's all that. Let's see here. Let's see what other stuff. Yeah, I know there's a soap opera. I've heard of that as well. And I've heard they use a lot of reused costumes and props from Mask of Zorro. So that part, I've been curious to check that one out. But Kaiketsu Zorro, the Zorro anime, is amazing. So yeah, we're just here to chat, guys. It's a birthday thing today. My birthday's not today, it's Saturday. So if you guys want to wish us a happy birthday, do it that. Any chance they'll place the Tyrone Power Zorro on Disney Plus? I don't know if they would. If they have, like, because they own Fox, if they would put any of Fox's old classic films on Disney Plus. And even if they did, it's like, it'd be funny because you have the Mark of Zorro with Tyrone Power, but then you also have the oh fuck, what is it? The Guy Williams television series. That's probably a thing. That is probably a thing. My favorite review episode of your show, by the way, is the King Kong video formats. Yeah, I'm surprised a lot of people actually respond to that episode, and I just did that very quickly. That wasn't, I mean, I wouldn't even consider that one of my favorite episodes of last year. It was fun to work on, but yeah. Which one do I prefer? I can't decide that. I love everything Batman. I love everything, essentially. I've never seen the Monsters. Not really a thing. Favorite episode was Let's Talk Video King Kong Anime. Really? I didn't think... I mean, those are just improvised. They're not really scripted. Theory for Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. I think Godzilla is mad in the trailer because Monarch stole his baby. I don't know. I'm not going in with any theories or speculations because then everybody's going to be disappointed. Concept for Christmas special will follow. Awesome. Okay, that sounds good. You know, why don't you, you know what? Actually, why don't you turn this into a show? Why don't you turn this into a review series? That might be something up your alley. That might actually make it work better. You can do it all in animation. I like the fan film review of the video games. A lot of people respond to that episode, which is pretty cool. What would your story be for a live-action Jurassic Park television series? So this is a very good question, David. I would more than likely probably do a whole thing about raiding Isla Nublar and building the park again. That's what I would do. Because there's a lot of those questions that have yet to be answered, and they really bug me that they don't, like, ever talk about the raid and rebuilding that park in, like, 2005 or even after the first one. Because there is a lot of stuff they discussed that they never really, like, considered for, like, part of the series. So I'm just sending my invitation out to a couple people for if they want to join us on the live stream. So there's that. All that's there if they want to join us. But is there anybody here? Not yet. But yeah, I would probably do that. Just the raid on Sorna. And then he asks, next commentary. I've been tinkering around with what I want to do for a commentary. If you guys have any suggestions of what episodes you want me to do commentaries on, let me know in the comments. Just make sure they're over 10 minutes. The shorter episodes, I really don't think I would have time to do commentaries for. So just getting a drink. Let's see here. Would you agree that 80s fantasy movies were better made than modern day fantasy films? That's a very kind of 50-50. There's some 80s fantasy films that I am not a fan of, like, that I don't think look well. Like, I mean, the visuals are kind of lame, but they have an interesting story. Like, probably one of my least favorites of that era was probably Dragon Slayer. I mean, the animation by Phil Tippett is amazing, but the movie is very lagging. The pacing's off. But the same can be applied to modern fantasy. Like, modern fantasy is just always trying to be Lord of the Rings, and that's the problem. You know, every even fairy tales now, they're trying to say just Lord of the Rings it. You know, Snow White, Jack and the Beanstalk, Alice in Wonderland, they're just turning them all into Lord of the Rings. Nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, it's like too much of a good thing. I haven't mind modern fantasy, but I think one thing they have lacked is the quality. They keep relying too much on CGI. Like, if I were to say make a Lord of the Rings-esque Inuyasha movie, which I want to do, I would more than likely go for the style of Legend. Because Legend blew me away a few years ago. I fell in love with that film. And I want to kind of capture that visual style that, like, Ridley Scott, I will say, as I've seen over time, is probably the most visionary genius. Like, if there's ever a man to create amazing visuals for motion pictures, it's him. If he had Avatar, oh my God, it would have been more gorgeous than anything Cameron could have done. Just in my opinion. Like, Cameron, the problem with Cameron, he can make good sequels, he can make good movies, but sometimes his scripts are very generic. And whereas Ridley Scott can make good stories and visuals. So either way, so there's that. But yeah, I really do enjoy a lot of fantasy films. Like, I love my epic quests, my epic battles, my goblins, my trolls, my dwarves, my hobbits, you know, all that shit. Really dig that stuff. Let's see here. Oh my God, comments are flying like crazy. Favorite Kong roar? It's really a tie between the original and 76. I can't decide. The original is more creative, but the 76 one, despite being stock, is more iconic. Just in my perspective. Exactly. We need more robotic and practical effects again. I think we really need more of that. The last Jurassic Park, the last two, well, the fourth one is the worst offender because they literally did not have a single animatronic on that film. I think they're, except for the Brontosaurus, it was just CG. And at least Fallen Kingdom, they actually did use more practical effects. However, they had to CG over some of it, and that's the part that pisses me off. You cannot do that. You just can't do that. That is special editioning your movie. And you should just go with the original effects. I don't care if it's not the same. You should just go for it. Legend is my favorite fantasy film as well, and I wish more people would take the film's effects from that than Lord of the Rings. I know, it's a wonderful movie. I love it, Dr. Luigi. I'm making a fan film on King Kong. I plan to get out the 90th anniversary. I would really like for you to review it when it comes out. That would be wonderful if I can, man. If when it comes out, just send me a link. If it's in good quality, I'll definitely check it out. I have not seen that. I don't watch much Netflix unless it's Castlevania and some other things. Like, only if I do requests. Favorite Tom Cruise film, probably Legend, Liam. Favorite 80s film rather than Legend. Ooh. Probably the first Terminator. Probably the first Terminator movie. And Labyrinth. There's a couple of good ones from the 80s. I'm more of a 90s movie. That was my generation. Holy crap, there's a lot of comments. I have seen Real Steel. I thought it was fun when it came out, but it wasn't really my thing. Say, Jack, if Ray Harryhausen made his own remake of King Kong, what do you think it would look like? He was talked to a few times about making one. But I think he ultimately just didn't want to do it because he was just, he didn't want to tarnish his master O'Brien's legacy. And you got to give him props for that on that end. What streaming services do you have? I only have Netflix. I don't want to get Disney Plus. I don't want to get all those, except for HBO Max, just for Godzilla vs. Kong. But that's it. That's it. Favorite book series. So, in terms of like novelized book series, I don't read that many. I tried to read Lord of the Rings and I can't read the books. I got like 10 pages in and I was lost. And I had to stop. I like The Hobbit, but I haven't read Lord of the Rings. It's just too much. But Funny enough, my favorite book series, if I had to pick one that's not manga or anything, it's probably the Magic Treehouse series. Why they have not done a movie on that, I have no idea. Last time I heard, Lionsgate did get the rights, but as far as I know, they haven't done anything with it for a film yet. And I've been hearing rumors upon rumors of what they're doing. But yeah, I don't know. I know who I would love to see direct that. Chris Columbus, only because he could bring it back to like the first two Harry Potters, like the first two, the tone of those two films, I think would be great. None of that pixel shit, none of the other stuff. Just if he did it like exactly like Harry Potter, he would do a great series. But those are probably my favorite book series. Is that you fool that'll never work gut behind you from your TikTok? Yeah, he is. That's the penguin behind me. And if you're wondering where that came from, that's actually from some jerk with a camera who's one of my favorite reviewers. Please go check out Tony Goldmark's work. He's absolutely wonderful. He's one of the reasons we did some reviews at theme parks. Have you seen the sneak peek of Jared Leto's Joker and Zack Snyder's Justice League? Yeah, and you know what? Looks like they're fixing it. Looks like they fixed it. And I'm actually looking forward to see how he looks. I'm actually liking what they're doing. I think they're finally realizing, like, this is one thing I'll say about the Justice League movie coming out, is that it sounds like they're just really learning from their mistakes. And they're learning that they just can't go stray too far off source material, and they also just still want to make a good movie. So I'm looking forward to them fixing it up. And I don't know, but it's funny, what's going to happen with the Whedon cut? Is it just going to not exist anymore? Is it going to be like just completely erased from existence? Because look, art is art, and you shouldn't just erase an old version from existence. Like, there's a lot of work prints of movies out there that people enjoy more than the films themselves. Let's see. Have a guy wander around to watch Heavenly Creatures? I've seen Heavenly Creatures, and I thought it was okay. Not one of my favorite Jackson movies, but I did like how it pretty much brought Kate Winslet to stardom. Favorite spaghetti? You mean spaghetti western? Or just spaghetti? I'm not a big spaghetti person, but spaghetti western I am. Probably for me, the definitive one is the Dollars trilogy. The Clint Eastwood Dollars trilogy, The Man with No Name, so Fistful of Dollars, a few dollars more, Good and the Bad and the Ugly. Will I be reviewing Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher, Batman films in full? I do want to. I really do, Liam, and we have plans to potentially shoot some this year, but we have to see what happens with COVID, because if COVID fucks things up again, we're going to have to push it and basically put all what we want to do this season is just going to have to be indefinitely until things are fixed up. But I will have alternatives until then, but that would suck. We're trying our absolute hardest, but we're going to get there someday. We're going to get there, but like, it's more about, we were going for it. We were ready to go. And then this whole thing happened and we're just waiting for it to be over. And that just sucks. And I really am. And I feel disappointed in myself that I can't deliver on like what I've been promising, and I apologize for that, guys. It's just, it has been difficult for us. Let's see here. Thoughts on Steven Spielberg being hired to direct Kong 76? What happened was, it was more the Universal film. Universal was basically on a huge high when Jaws was the success that they wanted to do Kong next, and that's what led to the Paramount problem. But I remember they even tried to hire Steven to direct it, and he was just, I think he was just so exhausted from Jaws that he wanted to take some time off, and he wanted to go make Close Encounters. That was going to be his next movie. So there's that. But think about that too, Whack. If he didn't make Close Encounters, if he made Kong for Universal, he wouldn't have made Close Encounters, probably. Wouldn't have the Spielberg we have now. I do know about that Magic Treehouse anime, Jared. And I've got, yeah, that's all I got. Thoughts of Jaws being more on screen than in the first screenplay of the film. I think it would have been, I think it actually would have been a bad movie, believe it or not. I think not showing the shark was a very smart idea. Like, all the creative pots were in the right basket at the right time with the first Jaws. So I don't fault Steven for basically kind of like doing what he did. And I would love to see a version of Peter Benchley's novel, but I don't know. It's just going to be really hard to top that first film. I've never read it because I could never find a copy of it, Patty Nick. I could never find a copy of that. Is your favorite Kong film King Kong Lives? No, I know I defend Kong Lives a lot. but it's more so just the one I think is probably the most underrated. I know it's a bad film, but you got to look at it like the Room of Kong movies, because it is like so bad it's good. And guys, finally, I've been waiting on somebody to show up to help me get some conversations going. So we have our first guest in for this Wednesday live stream, a little late in the game, but please help me welcome once again, Jay St. G from Nerd Cage. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, Big Jack? How's it?
Not much. Just my birthday's Saturday, and I'm celebrating it early because I do my live streams on Wednesdays.
Happy early. Dirty 30?
29.
29. Oh, okay. I thought you were 29. Okay, so your last year, your 20s, man. God bless.
Yeah, it's the last year, and it sucks because we're all in lockdown for it.
Yeah, I know.
Well, people always said that 30, when you're 30, it's your greatest adventures. So I'm like, I'll take it for what it is. So, but yeah, look, hey, I'll be as old as the old school critics. I'll be as old as like when they were starting in the early 2000s. So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, we're all just shooting the shit on the stream. We're just talking about movies and talking about stuff. And I'm talking about basically how, like, I have some ideas that I want to do for reviews in case, like, because we have our lineup for what we want to do this year. Mm-hmm. But if COVID gets really bad where we can't do them because they're really ambitious, we have backup plans. So, for example, I want to talk about the Burton Batman movies, but because of my ambition and COVID, I may not be able to. So I'm going to have a backup plan. And I'm debating if I want to do maybe some other Batman stuff, maybe even talk about some of the animated movies. Like I'm thinking maybe Mask of the Phantasm is one I want to discuss.
Speaking of, did you see Heart of the Dragon yet? Batman Heart of the Dragon? Or Soul of the Dragon?
Basically Batman versus Bruce Lee, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. It just came out, literally just came out last week.
There's some of them I've not been able to have time. Like I think all the newer animated stuff, I've just not had time to watch. I've seen bits of them. They look interesting. Like the one that has caught my eye the most is probably Batman versus the Ninja Turtles.
That's good. I actually like that one.
Like, I saw the clip of Batman fighting Shredder. I'm like, okay, that's awesome.
It's good. Cool. Listen, I went in with, like, crap expectations. I ended up liking it a lot. It's not the best. It's far from the worst, though. It's quite enjoyable. I think for any Batman fan, any Ninja Turtles fan needs to watch it.
Oh, no, you know what? I did watch one of them, and that was Return of the Cape Crusaders, because I watched they
Adam West.
You know what's funny about that? Funny story. So the day I saw it, it was actually a premiere at Fan Expo in Toronto, and Adam West and Burt Ward were there. And actually, You know what? I got to meet both of them, and I met Adam West literally a year before he died.
God bless.
And because the thing is, he was my childhood Batman, because my dad and I used to watch the show every afternoon at 5:30 on the Space Channel. And it was like before that, it was, I think the schedule was, it was like Star Trek Next Gen, which he was a huge fan of, and I would watch some of it. I'm more Team Picard, you know, because that's what I grew up with.
I'm not that much older than you, so that was kind of like the.
And you know what? I always found Kirk to be an asshole. Kirk's just a dick.
I mean, I can appreciate the original Star Trek more as I get older, but to me, it's always going to be Next Generation.
It's going to be.
If Matt from Monstrosities is listening, yes, Picard still rules. I'm talking about the show Picard.
You know what? Because again, Dad and I, it's funny because I'm a Lucas hound, but he's a Trekkie, 100% Trekkie. So it's funny when clashes. So but I remember watching a lot of Star Trek with him, Next Gen as a kid. And I kind of, Star Trek's always been there, and it looks fun occasionally, but I'm not like a super hardcore as most people. Like, I'm not Mike from Letter Media, who always brings up Star Trek every other moment on the show. But when Picard was coming out, I told my dad, it's like, you know what? We used to watch Next Gen all the time. Let's watch Picard. I didn't mind Picard. I did not. I know people had their issues with it, but I didn't mind Picard.
I did it. I enjoyed it because it's not your traditional Star Trek. And the fact that this is like the best follow-up to Next Generation and Voyager, because of 7 of 9 plays a big role.
I mean, the thing is, I haven't really watched anything other than Next Gen and the J.J. Abrams movies. Like, I mean, I watched a little bit of Deep Space Nine only because...
Oh, there he is. Matt's in here. There he is. Picard is awful. There he is.
Okay,
highlight that. Highlight it.
Yeah, he might come in. But I'll say this. I did watch a bit of Deep Space Nine only because Rene Arbajonis was in it, and he was in. It's funny because I actually met him, and I met him before he died. He signed my Kong 76 poster because he was in the 70s remake. He was Who was he in Star Trek Deep Space Nine? Who was he?
I'm sorry, which one again?
Rene Arbajonis, I think is how you pronounce his name.
He
was like the weird flathead.
Someone in the chat knows. I didn't watch Deep Space Nine, really. I kind of skipped over that. My parents watched it.
He was some weird, pale-looking alien.
The one with the slicked back hair?
Sort of a purple shirt, like a purple outfit.
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember, but he was in a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, he was the voice of the chef in The Little Mermaid. Odo, I think. Odo,
okay.
Yeah. So Odo, he was in Kong 76. He was the oil specialist, Roy Bagley, who told evil Charles Grodin, "Till then you'll have better mileage filling up your Cadillac with mule piss." So I met him, and I was telling, I actually told him, I said, everybody knows you from Star Trek, and look, I'm a big Kong fan. He actually told me a lot of stories about when he was working on that movie, because actually his lineup had nobody there. So I got to talk to him for like an hour about Kong, and he would tell me stories about how he was there when they had the big robot, and he brought his daughter, and his daughter flipped out, like his little 4-year-old daughter, and he was telling me how, like, he told me literally, dude, you need to go to Kauai where they shot the movie because it is gorgeous. Like, I don't know if the scene in the movie where they approach the beach, and they're like, and there's like that little archway. That's part of the island of Kauai. It's apparently called Cathedral Beach, and it's a very seclusive part of the island. And they've only, as far as I know, shot only 2 movies there. Kong 76, when they go through to find like that little pool in the island. But I found out later, I didn't notice this when I first saw it, but I watched it again. They filmed the 4th Pirates movie at that same beach.
I didn't see that one. I stopped after the 3rd movie. You
know what? If I could just the 4th film, it was basically Jack Sparrow and the Last Crusade, and for that it was fine. And 5 was definitely the worst one, but it made me realize the unsung hero of those all 5 movies was not Sparrow, was not Will Turner. It was Barbossa. Barbossa was the unsung hero of the entire franchise. And I'll say this without spoiling it, he gets his time to shine in 5. He's so good in 5. Jeffrey Rush is a national icon. If you want a good movie that he's in that's actually relatively funny, watch Shakespeare in Love.
Okay.
Like in that movie, he plays like a geeky, a kind of tweaky manager for Shakespeare. So when all the bank guys who are funding his plays come in, they always threaten him with death, and they're like, "Well, where's the play?" And he's like, "I don't know. It's a mystery." And I think that's the movie that also made Gwyneth Paltrow a star, I think, was Shakespeare in Love. That won her the Academy Award.
Yeah.
But
Shallow Hal put her over the top, basically.
Oh, you know what? I bring up Shallow Hal in one of my upcoming episodes I'm working on, but only briefly because it's about a genre.
Of course, 7, but she's basically a blank. And
no, look, we can't look. Last time Gwyneth Paltrow was good was the first Iron Man. I would even say the 3rd Iron Man. After that, fucking Goop ruined her.
That's what I'm saying. Goop, yeah, the Goop.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Jontron's videos were great about.
Gwyneth, I'm sorry, but Flex Tape is more valuable than you. Phil Swift is more of a star than you.
Yeah, no.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't look at her the same anymore after the Goop. Jontron.
You watch Jontron, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's my whole day.
Tell me if this sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Jontron hosting the Academy Awards.
Because never happened, but I would love it.
Well, no, because here's the thing. That's why I think they stopped putting the host.
He would roast them, and
the thing is, they weren't funny. You know who the last great host was, and the one that actually had the Oscars have the highest ratings in a long time was Seth MacFarlane. When he came on the Academy Awards, everybody watched it, not just for the awards, but kids were watching it because, kids love Family Guy. They love the potty humor. So with Seth there, they actually brought in the younger audience. And I'd say if you want to bring in more family audiences, if you want to bring more of the kids and stuff, look at what they're watching. They're watching YouTube. So bring in I would say I'm surprised that filmmakers who put their stuff on YouTube don't enlist for a potential Oscar thing, because I think that's another step is that if you bring YouTube into the factor at the Academy Awards, then it's like the ball game's changed. Then you can bring anybody then. So to have John, I can already imagine what his first skit would be. You know what his first skit would be? He hands an Oscar to a very important actor. He drops it and it snaps, and he brings in Phil Swift to repair it with Flex Seal, like gold Flex Seal. That would be the first skit.
Yeah, that would be good.
You know, even my mom, who's like really old school, she loves JonTron, and like because he's
a charming dude. You gotta hand him. He's a charming dude.
And also, it's because you know what I always said about JonTron? He's the Billy Crystal of YouTube.
Yeah.
Not just in humor, just like the voice. I just hear a voice. I'm like, all I hear is either Mike Wazowski or Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
So hey, I know they were thinking about doing a petition to remake Princess Bride. JonTron to be the Miracle Max.
Brian Kingsley in the chat. It's like, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. But no, it'd be funny because I would love to see. I know there was rumors about remaking The Princess Bride, which I think has been canceled because of the backlash. There was a huge. They were announcing it, and then the public backlash about it. I think the studio said, we're not touching that.
Yeah.
Like, no, right? But if you were to remake it...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jack. Did you hear about Nintendo today?
The
Zelda and Star Fox series on Netflix was true, and they canceled it because they were pissed that it got leaked.
Yeah, like but why? I think, wouldn't that be good promotion? Wouldn't that be, like, if people are saying go for it, wouldn't you want to fucking do it?
It just shows you how Nintendo is with their properties, or they're that, like...
You know what pisses me off? You know what pisses me off? They won't agree to make another Mario movie or a Zelda movie, but
there's an animated Mario movie coming out.
I know, but they're not going to make a Zelda movie, but they were totally fine with giving Adam Sandler the ability to make a fucking movie called Pixels. Piece of shit that was. That was awful.
Yeah, I was told to skip it. Like, I wanted to see it. Everybody
one of my friends, one of the writers of my show, he was actually offered to be an extra in the movie. But when he found out it was an Adam Sandler film, he actually declined. He said, fuck that. Because he knew he didn't want that on his resume.
Yeah.
And my friend was in Rain, the show Rain. But he chose Rain over Pixels. That's how bad it was.
Hey, Jack, can I throw a pitch to you? Something we talked about in Nerd Cage months ago. It was one of our first streams we ever did. I'm just going to throw a pitch to you. Margot Robbie as Samus. Oh, come on.
Let me think about this.
What's there to think about?
No. It's not a bad casting choice. I'm just trying to think if there was potentially anybody else.
Oh.
Potentially.
Emily Blunt.
You know what? And maybe it's because I'm kind of short-sighted because, look, I'm on TikTok a lot.
Yeah.
And there was a chick, and look, I know two people who have cosplayed Samus amazingly. One is on TikTok called That Cool Substitute. He okay, this is what's great. Okay, here's the thing with That Cool Substitute, which everybody on here should go follow on TikTok. She has Twitch and everything. She's a cosplayer, but she's also a substitute first grade teacher. And all I'm thinking is, if my teacher was a fucking first grade teacher, was a cosplayer, I'd be like, oh, why did I miss that class? No, because here's what's crazy. She's not only cosplayed Samus, she's cosplayed Android 18. If Android 18 was teaching my class, I would have died of a heart attack. And you know me with my fandom of that. She's my wife. She's my wife. You know, like, if that happened to me as a kid,
that's the only reason why I know who she is because of you.
Look, I would have had a heart attack. Right? So, That Cool Substitute, and actually BATTYALANA, who has played 18 on her show, wants to cosplay Samus. In fact, she wants to combine 18 and Samus together. And I'm just like... Yeah.
But in terms of Hollywood acting ability, though, Margot Robbie's perfect.
Wasn't there... Didn't Brie Larson had an interest in doing it too?
No, I do not want. That's like the one I do not want. Sorry,
okay, well, you know what? Here's my only thing with Margot Robbie. You know, and she is pretty much the opposite of Brie Larson, and I mean that.
What do you mean?
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know if I should break. Okay, this is kind of like pretty bad to say, but like, look.
Thank you, Nintendo fan 101. No Brie Larson. Thank you. Air high five.
Let me put it like this. You want to know why people went after Brie Larson?
My man right there.
I know why she essentially fucked up all the fandoms. Is because people went after her because she has a flat ass, apparently, is what the fans were saying.
Well,
she's got a nice chest, but she's got a flat ass, and she bitched about it. And I understand that, but it's bullshit. Margot Robbie's the opposite. Look, I saw fucking Suicide Squad, and I've never seen an ass that good. I've never seen an ass that amazing. But the only thing is, Margot, she's a little flat for Samus, is all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
Yeah, but she's gonna be wearing armor probably most of the time. Here's the thing. So, like, you gotta understand, like, from an acting ability, and you know she can do action because we saw her as Harley Quinn, obviously. And
she's good in Legend of Tarzan. You should see her in that Tarzan movie she was in, which also stars the guy who's going to be in Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah, and she was also really good in what's that movie? Oh my god, where she the figure skate movie. Oh my god, I'm losing.
I know what you're talking about. She got the Academy Award for that.
Well, she got nominated.
Yeah,
I can't believe I can't remember the name of the damn movie.
No, we'll just call it Blades of Glory.
I know it's about.
No. Just like Ghostbusters. Just like Ghostbusters, we'll just call it Blades of Glory 2016.
Yeah, but anyway, the Tara Harding movie or whatever.
Yeah,
she was phenomenal in that, and she also did really good, even though it was not no action, but she was also really good in that Fox News movie too.
You know what? I know she does a lot of biopics. She does a lot of, like, she did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep.
Okay, we're talking about her being Samus. How about this? Because this is what I've always pitched. Margot Robbie as Jessica Lange in a biopic on the making of Kong 76. I think she would be a phenomenal young Jessica Lange in a biopic.
Yeah, I could agree to that.
I think that's why I liked her so much, because I look at her face and I just see Jessica Lange from the 70s Kong, and Jessica Lange in that, holy fuck. Like, you know what it is? People say, like, she looked good in the native dress. I'm like, fuck that. Her New York dress is fucking stunning.
Yeah.
She's got a fucking spare back and a hat.
For her age, she still looks phenomenal for her age.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you know what sucks, though? She's the only actress I know who, despite that movie making her a star and a career, she's very ashamed of that movie. She's very embarrassed by that movie, and I know why. It's that one scene in the movie that's made all the headlines, all the publicities.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the same time, look, if I met her, I would say, no, you were really good in that. I would compliment, like, you know, I met at Fan Expo, I met Linda Hamilton and, who played Kyle Reese in the first Terminator?
Oh,
fuck, what's his name? His name always escapes. Michael Biehn.
I literally just
Michael Biehn.
Yes.
So I met them both at Fan Expo, and they didn't have a line, so I got to talk to them for a bit. And I know Linda Hamilton from the Terminator and all that stuff. And if you ever meet her, she's such a nice lady. And I went up to her and I actually told her, look, you haven't aged today. You still look stunning. And she was actually like, this kid's fucking adorable, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, I was a toddler when Terminator 2 came out. And what was really funny is that, here, let's just, how do I get rid of that?
Oh, by the way, it was I, Tanya. It was I, Tanya was the name of
I, Tanya. So it's funny because I went up to her. I went up to her and I told her, look, I loved you in the Terminator. I loved you in all those movies, but I liked you in King Kong Lives. And she actually looked at me and she looked at me like, you know about that piece of crap? She actually said that to me. She said, you know that piece of crap? I'm like, I grew up with it. I was a kid watching it, and I still have some enjoyment to this day. And she actually said, most people have come after me for that movie, but it really brings a nice little thing to my heart that you're actually able to enjoy something that most people don't like. I think she was one of the only good aspects of that movie. Like, go watch King Kong Lives with just no mindset of the first one and just enjoy it as just a dumb 80s giant gorilla adventure movie, and it's fine. Like,
I'm a big fan of 76. I really am.
Like, why do people say the ape suits look bad? Like, yeah, they're obviously men in suits, but it's better than anything Toho did in the 60s.
Yeah, and that was Rick Baker too, who did.
No, that was no. That wasn't Rick Baker in the second one. At that point, Rick Baker had actually had a career for himself. Because apparently he enjoyed the success with Kong 76, but he's always looked back as kind of pretending he never made that movie, because even though he made that amazing ape suit, apparently it was all he said it was because of the lighting. It looked good. If you didn't light it right, it looked like ass, apparently. Yeah. I didn't see it. I thought it was one of the best ape suits. But at that point, he had been winning the Academy Awards for American Werewolf, Gorillas in the Mist. I think he was working on Gorillas in the Mist at that time. So he didn't have time for Kong. And so what they did was, because they couldn't get Rick Baker, they got Carlo Rambaldi over, who did all the full-scale animatronic stuff. And at the time when he made 76, actually him and Rambaldi were arguing about the design, right? So, because apparently originally they wanted it to be more human. So that's why the animatronic doesn't match the ape suit, because it was two different designs. So when Rambaldi took over, he had to basically take what Baker had done, but make it his own. So that's why you see in that film, that's the only time Kong's on all fours, like a normal gorilla, because he wanted to go for more anatomy. So it was a slight change, but still worked.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't Rick Baker in the suit. It was Peter Elliott, who I think was in the suit for Buddy, the ape suit for the movie Buddy from the 90s. He did the same thing. But yeah, at that point, Rambaldi took over. In fact, all the stuff from his from Lives actually still survives. There's a museum in Italy that's being made called the Carlo Rambaldi Foundation Museum, and it includes actual props and suits and even the full-scale arm from Kong Lives, like the actual intact. It still has the latex, the fur. You can take a photo with it and everything. Yeah. And it's going to be at this museum along with some of the suits. I think the Lady Kong suit still survives. The Baby Kong suit is in a crate. They have stuff from E.T. They have stuff from Alien, Close Encounters, because all his stuff is going to be in this museum. Awesome. And it's going to be in Italy. So if I ever go to Italy, I have a reason to go now.
There you go, dude.
So yeah, I would say Margot Robbie in a Jessica Lange Kong 76 biopic would be great.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I don't think there's anything that woman can't do. She's basically this generation's Nicole Kidman, pretty much.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you know what it is also? You know what she reminds me of is like... One thing I do like about, because look, I did not care for Birds of Prey. I mean, I thought they had an interesting story. They had good characters. They had good characters, and Ewan McGregor was great. But here's the problem: I couldn't watch it because I was getting such a headache from all the editing and the flashing lights. Like I almost like, how is this not warning for seizures?
Oh, it's a fun Birds of Prey. It's a fun movie. I enjoyed it for what it was.
But she was, but yeah, I'll agree. She was one of the aspects I did like, and I did like the whole joke about that movie. There's one thing that movie took away from me. I came out of the movie thinking, I want a bacon, egg, cheese sandwich.
Yes.
I'm going to McDonald's again. Actually, the first thing I did after I saw that, I went over to McDonald's and I got an Egg McMuffin. I'm surprised McDonald's didn't promote this movie, right?
Yeah.
But the one thing I did like about her, what I love about her Harley Quinn, is that, yeah, she's bad, but she does have, it's like, I think there's a movie the Cinema Snob always brought up, The Hooker with the Heart of Gold.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what it is. She's a bad girl with a heart of gold. She's the one that's like, look, she's a total bitch. She's a total horrible character. But when her heart's in the right place, it's in the right place. That movie, you know what it reminded me of? Bad Santa.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen Bad Santa.
That's a good movie.
Basically, yeah, she's a dipshit, but when there's a kid, she takes care of that kid. You know, and it's very motherly. I do like, look, who wouldn't want a mom like Harley Quinn? She'll get you whatever she wants and she won't give a damn.
Well, I wouldn't want her as my mother, just saying.
Well, imagine you've been in a bit of a fight and she finds you on the street, she takes you into your hotel and you're like, what the fuck? And look, normally most people would be scared the shit out, but I would just be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you want a coffee? That's my answer to every time.
And I can't wait to see her play Harley in the James Gunn Suicide Squad in August. I'm really looking forward to that.
Is she coming back for Snyder's Justice League?
No, Jared Leto is though.
I saw the photo. I'm like, you know what? They might fix this. They might.
I trust Zack Snyder. Here's why. Listen, first and foremost, since I'm on this platform for the second time, is that rather if you like Zack Snyder or not, I love Zack Snyder. I'm not gonna knock anybody who hates him though, but be happy that the man's given the opportunity to finish his movie. All right, because he did get screwed over.
Yeah, and here's the thing, because I know, I'll be honest with Snyder's movies. His movies are very hit or miss for me. I like 300. I really like 300. In fact, I would say his best movie is Watchmen. I never heard of Zack Snyder before Watchmen. I actually never saw 300 when it came out. I saw it later.
I was there from the beginning because I loved Dawn of the Dead remake.
You know what? I mean, I'm afraid to watch this remake because I want to watch the original first, and I know the original is a classic.
Yeah, it is. But Zack Snyder has a very good take on it.
Yeah, so like the thing is with Zack Snyder is like Watchmen was because I remember when I saw that we all saw The Dark Knight in theaters, and they played that trailer for Watchmen, which I went back and watched that trailer again because it has the song by the Smashing Pumpkins, and it's funny because I remember as a kid that song was on the album for Batman and Robin.
Yep.
A completely opposite and I remember I never heard of Watchmen in my life seeing that trailer. So when I see Night Owl come down, I'm like, oh shit, is this the Justice League already? Is that Batman? Like that's what I thought as a kid. I'm like, is that Batman? Like what's going on? And then it's like Watchmen. I'm like, okay, never heard of this before. And I did eventually see it. I'm like, this was a very good movie. Like this was like, this is a ballsy movie. I watched it again. Still a great film. I actually like it more than the HBO show. I heard the HBO show was not good.
I like the HBO show. I liked it a lot, actually.
Part of me wants to cosplay Night Owl because it's just
I will say this though: you should watch the movie before you watch the HBO series.
Does the series canon to the movie?
Yes and no.
Okay.
No, because it wasn't. But the thing is, the movie is based on the comics. So the show's a sequel to the comics.
Like I have the comic, I have the graphic novel.
But you should. You should. You could very well think of it as a sequel to the movie because
so it's a sequel. I wasn't sure if it was a prequel or a sequel or a remake.
It takes place in modern time.
Okay, so it is a sequel to the first movie. Okay, yeah, because but yeah, I remember. So Watchmen, I think, is his best movie. I was really looking forward to Man of Steel. I was like the trailers had me. And then I watched it, and look, there's a good Superman movie in there. My problem is the editing was terrible. The editing was awful. If you had edited this in chronological order, added a little bit more color to it, it would have been actually pretty good.
That's the thing. It's people, bitch about the color palette, but it's fine with me. Here's the thing. The only movie I did not like, and I don't care who, I hated Sucker Punch. Like, I can't stand that movie.
Never saw Sucker Punch. All I knew about it was just basically think Changeling, that Angelina Jolie, Clint Eastwood movie, but if they all took drugs in the mental hospital. Pretty much.
I hated it. That's the only movie that I will not defend of his, but I love all his other movies.
Somebody actually said
Slither's another one I don't like. So Slither and Sucker Punch are the only two movies of his I don't like, but I love Dawn of the Dead, 300, Man of Steel, BVS. Really looking forward to Justice League. So
somebody told me the best way to watch Sucker Punch is to do a ton of weed and then turn off the audio and just crank Led Zeppelin. And apparently it's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Puppet Master. I'm Team Kong, by the way. You can't really see.
I am Team Kong. I want to get I saw the T-shirts on Amazon with like the orange like font of Kong. You know what that reminds me of is the old school like Confrontation shirts they used to sell at Universal Studios for the old ride that used to be there. So that's why I want to get it. And actually,
I would get it, but I don't want to insult Titan Goji because Titan Goji also made Team Godzilla, Team Kong. So I'm probably gonna buy one of his shirts for Team Kong because I didn't want to buy that the one that you're talking about. I don't want to insult Davis by getting that shirt. So
I think I have that shirt on my Amazon wish list, which I did put in the in my description if anybody's interested. So hey, anybody want to get me a Team Kong shirt? But I wanted to make my own. But what I wanted to do, and I thought of this for about 2 years now, I wanted to get them in the font of Twilight. Because when Twilight came out, Team Edward, Team Jacob, but it would be Team Godzilla, Team Kong. But as a joke, as a bit of a one-up to the Twilight fans, and be like, see, Twilight fans, we can do this too. Or no, you know what'd be great at one of the premieres? Like, say somebody comes to the premiere in a shirt, and they don't have a Team Godzilla, Team Kong, so they have to just basically get a Team Edward, Team Jacob, and they have to cross it out and put Kong or Godzilla. I couldn't find a shirt. I'm sorry. I would actually be like, that's funny, dude. I would see the humor in that. But yeah, so with Zack Snyder, so with Man of Steel, the editing is not good. It needed more color, and I'll say one thing I just did not like, and actually because I remember me and my family came out of it. We were actually really upset by the movie because Mom came out and she literally said this, and it stuck with me. She said, "It's too 9/11-y." It was too much. There was too much 9/11 imagery in the film.
Well, listen, when you have Kryptonians fighting in a city, you're gonna get a lot of destruction.
Well. It's more just about, like, I mean, the fucking Christopher Reeve, like, look, that's the thing. I know every Man of Steel fan's like, oh, like, stop bringing Christopher Reeve into this. You know,
well,
but
it's hard not to.
It's hard not to. In fact, you know what? I would have much preferred, I think what also kind of threw me off with the whole DCEU, and I think another reason why, I mean, I like Batman v Superman probably more than Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I do like it more because, look, when it comes to any superheroes, I'll be honest, if it has Batman in it, I'm going to go see it. I don't give a like, that's the thing.
I'm going to watch BVS the night before Justice League drops on.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too, and I don't know if anybody's... Do you ever notice that the only DC hero that really makes money for Warner Brothers is Batman?
No, I would disagree with that. Wonder Woman made money.
Well, I mean, like...
Wonder Woman 84
made
record-setting streams.
But for males, it's Batman. It's always going to be Batman. So that's
Batman's their bread and butter, but don't say like the other DC properties don't like make no money, because they do.
Well, they do, but I don't think as much as Batman. You know, like not as much. Yeah. So because they have
Aquaman made $1 billion. So
well, yeah, but that was just the Lord of the Rings budget remake of SpongeBob.
No,
that's what I put Aquaman. No, that doesn't make it a bad movie. I think that actually makes it better if I just think of it as a Lord of the Rings scaled budget version of SpongeBob. In fact, I was so disappointed that the movie did not have Ocean Man on the soundtrack.
Yeah,
and they never, and not one SpongeBob joke. How do you make, like, look, if you're gonna go route and bring Aquaman, you gotta call him SpongeBob at one point. Make a joke about SpongeBob. I don't know. I'm so hell.
Yeah, but dude, listen. For years, they've been trying to make Aquaman this badass character. You know, after being ridiculed for decades, Jason Momoa took the daunting task of bringing that character to life and making him the ultimate badass. Why would you want to throw in a stupid joke just to bring down the character down?
Well, just for one side joke, just one little, like, it's like in the Avengers when it's like, get lost, Squidward.
Listen, DC is not these goofy, family-friendly Marvel, you know, Mickey Mouse kissing, you know. Well,
I get that. Like, I mean, you know what it is? It's like people say, like, why can't Batman be more family-friendly, be like a Marvel movie? You want a Marvel Batman movie? Go watch Batman Forever.
Yeah.
That's your Marvel Batman movie.
I mean, Batman's supposed to be a dark character, okay? I'm really hoping that this Pattinson Batman is going to be rated R.
Oh, it's probably going to be. Like, look, Joker
made rated R.
Batman has to be R-rated at this point. He has to.
You know, I'm just saying that DC's done good with the R-rated films. I mean,
the director, Matt Reeves, he actually stated that they're taking influence from the movie Seven.
Yeah. Like,
the Riddler is basically the killer from Seven. Yeah. And that's what I'm wondering. How are they going to do the Riddler? Like, because look, like, I've always known the Riddler to be the puzzle guy.
Did you play Batman Arkham City?
You know what?
Play Arkham City. That version of Riddler is twisted.
Is it on the 360?
Yes.
Okay, because that's the thing. 360 is actually my cutoff date for game systems.
Yeah, you can still get it on the 360. They remade it in HD. Like, they remade the game on Xbox One too. So
yeah, I won't get an Xbox One. I won't get anything new consoles, only because now you're paying monthly subscriptions for games and I can't afford it.
Oh yeah, I don't do that stuff. But
look,
yeah.
Look at this. Like, my gaming collection is Super Nintendo. I have over 100 Super Nintendo games.
It's the best system ever made.
It is the best system. That was my childhood. Like, I never owned the console, but it was my first console because my cousins and I would play fucking Aladdin on Super Nintendo by Capcom all the time, and that's my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
Aladdin, and then people say, oh, the Genesis one is better. Shut up. Genesis one sucks.
I liked the Genesis, but Super Nintendo was better. I lived it. Okay,
I'll say this: if there's one thing Sega did better than Nintendo when it came to games, they did the better Jurassic Park games.
Yeah,
You remember the arcade game
And
used to be a Chuck E. Cheese?
You could argue like the Disney games were better, like Toy Story, Lion King, Aladdin.
I remember playing Toy Story and I couldn't even get past. It was hard as hell.
I got through Toy Story on Sega.
Well, I remember the commercials that used to be on the Toy Story VHS. It was like all the Genesis and Super Nintendo video games. And I'll say this about, you ever go back and look at all the old Toy Story games from the first movie?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they're able to stand up to the graphics of the film is pretty crazy for the time. Because back then,
remember, Donkey Kong Country revolutionized the pre-rendered graphics. So
yeah, and I that's one of my favorite games, is that whole trilogy. Like, I worship that trilogy. It's like some of the greatest games of all time. Like, I feel Donkey Kong doesn't get the respect he deserves compared to Mario or Zelda.
I love those games. I love that character.
Like, I think they need to explore more of Donkey Kong. Like, they need to give him more due.
Yeah.
You know, because he's starting to decline, I find. I find Donkey Kong has really started to decline since Donkey Kong Country.
No, I mean, you gotta understand, Tropical Freeze just got a remake last year. I mean,
I'm not that big into Nintendo, but I like Nintendo.
He's in basically every Mario game, like Mario Party, Mario Tennis. He's still in all those games. If you want to talk about decline of a character, man, where's F-Zero? Please give us an F-Zero game.
Captain Falcon has been
a Star Fox game. If you want to talk about characters in decline, Star Fox, F-Zero.
Star Fox, oh my god. How, like, that's the thing. I actually know what? What is the definitive Star Fox game for a lot of people? Like,
me,
whole history.
Star Fox 64. I mean, Star Fox on Super Nintendo was good.
I'm more of a fan of the original Star Fox.
I think Star Fox 64 was.
Well, remember, here's the thing with gaming. My history with gaming is that, I mean, I played Super Nintendo first because it was my cousin's console, but my first real game console was the PS1. And so I grew up with Spyro the Dragon. I didn't grow up with Crash, but I grew up with Spyro. I love Spyro to death.
Yeah.
I love that first trilogy. I know there's the remaster, but I'm going to stick with those really shitty graphics from like 1997.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with, there was Rugrats Search for Reptar. There were so many great, like a lot of movie-based games. The Tarzan game was solid. A Bug's Life was fucking awful. There were some good games. And then first handheld console was the Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
And then I moved to the Advance, and then but then when it came to like the PS2 and that generation, I got Xbox. And that was only because my dad helped launch the first Xbox with Microsoft. So that original Xbox that still runs pretty damn well 20 years later is one of the original first ones released. And it came with a bunch of bootleg versions of the games that weren't even out yet.
Yeah.
Like prototypes. So I played like Dead or Alive 3, Halo, Shrek was fucking garbage. But so once that the Millennium came in and the new consoles were in, I was just all Xbox.
I was always here's why I'm pro Xbox, and I know I get so much credit because all my friends like PlayStation, but like for me it's the exclusives. Like Gears of War, like I fell in love with Gears of War from the jump. I wasn't too big on Halo, but
Halo was me. Like that again, one of the best, I think, like top 3 video game trilogies of all time.
No, I know, I agree. I never got into it, but Gears of War, oh my goodness, man, I love Gears of War, especially the early ones. But yeah, I've always been an Xbox guy. I actually, now that G-Fest is canceled, I'm buying I'm going to use that money to buy an Xbox Series X.
It sucks for me because I had plans to go down there and film some stuff and do some.
I got friends in Chicago. I was looking forward. I was going to stay for a week.
I was gonna come down and I was gonna get a booth. In fact, you know what? I have one of the things I was gonna bring with me was my giant Kong hand I made for my movie, so everybody could take photos in it. And
it wasn't a booth, but I was gonna have a panel.
I was gonna have a panel too. I was thinking about, like, you know what? Let's plan this. Why don't we at G-Fest do a Monstrosities panel? So everybody who's on Monstrosities, we all come together for a panel.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Matt, if you're still in here, yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah, I want to do one for my channel. I want to do one for Kong. I wanted to do a Kong panel and stuff. But I had plans. I was gonna actually sell copies of my movie there, and I was gonna shoot some stuff for a later project. I was gonna shoot a Godzilla themed video there. But now that it's canceled, I got to figure out what I'm going to be doing, and it's mostly for the Suitmation stuff. So one of the things I did was I actually reached out to the G-Fest Facebook group and said, if anybody has a Godzilla suit and a Mecha Godzilla suit, if you can direct via Skype and green screen, that'll be fun. And then plan C, I'm just going to go to SCRYE Productions and just say, Lord, fuck it, we're CGing it. We're CGing the whole damn thing. Fuck it. Because that's all you can do at this point. But yeah, talking with him about it. But yeah, that sucks. Found out a couple of cons got canceled. There's one con that's still on for the end of July here in Toronto, Anime North. But I have my doubts. So I got to prep for the worst at this point. So, you know what? Here's the thing. A lot of people are saying nothing's going to really roll back and like come back until 2023. That's sort of the
I don't want to make any grim predictions, but you know, I'm just glad personally that they canceled G-Fest early instead of dragging it out, because I filed my taxes and that was my plan. It was to book everything. Now I'm glad that they canceled it, so now I'm just waiting for my taxes.
You know, I think they are being considerate of people's money. They are being very considerate. Can you imagine if they didn't give a shit? They're like, we need someone else.
Last year I had everything booked, right? And it took me months to get my refund for like the hotel and the train ride, because I take the train. I'm in Syracuse. I'm not far from you.
Yeah. The last time,
Chicago,
I was gonna go in 2019, or no, yeah, I was gonna go, but you know what happened? My only ride, which was my dad, he couldn't take me because he had to go to a Vietnam reunion in Texas. So I could not go to G-Fest, and I was so bummed because I had such a good time in 2018. I wanted to come back, and then didn't happen.
Another thing too was I was really looking forward like this year, like to finally like meet like, because you know in Nerd Cage we have a lot of the same people.
Have you never been? Have you never been to G-Fest?
No, I went in 2019. It was my first.
Okay.
I was just looking forward to like finally meeting like a lot of people who come to my live streams face to face and whatnot. I was really looking forward to that. Just meeting.
It was crazy for me. Like because look, I was still relatively small around 2018. I was probably at maybe 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers. I wasn't that big, but going to G-Fest, I don't
have that many subscribers now.
I kept count. I met 50 fans.
Yeah.
Which was, I never had that recognition before. I had a few bump-ins at cons here in Canada, but never in my life have I experienced that. And I actually they wanted photos. They wanted autographs. You know you're in when they want autographs. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm not worth that much.
By the way, at last year's the 2019 G-Fest, I did go to the Kong Unmade panel.
Oh, there was that shit. No, because like
it was great. I absolutely enjoyed it.
Yeah, the time I went, did they talk about me at all at the panel?
I think maybe briefly a little bit.
They probably just brought me. Oh yeah, BigJackFilms.
It's been over a year and a half now, so it's kind of my memory's a little fuzzy, but that was a damn good panel. That honestly, that may have been that. I mean, next to the Monstrosities panel, that may have been my favorite panel. Honestly,
if they ever do any Kong panels, you will count me in. They'll probably even look at me like, dude, that's the Kong guy. We need to get him on this panel.
Yeah,
like, fuck yeah, let's go. Because that's the thing I loved about G-Fest. Because the first time I went, I didn't really plan anything. I just went for fun, and it's one of the best cons I've ever been to. Next to like, if you ever come up here, man, Anime North is fucking insane. Like they have to take up.
I'm not an anime person, but
no, but look at it like this. Think Woodstock, like the hippies Woodstock, but if George Lucas digitally replaced everybody at Woodstock with anime people, and like cosplayers. It is.
I haven't been in Toronto in decades, but
you don't even have to pay for it. You don't even have to pay for it. You can just go walk around. You can hang out with cosplayers. It takes blocks. Like it takes like probably about a mile of stuff.
Yeah.
Like for the con to run. It is huge. And actually, I think it is labeled Canada's largest anime convention.
Yeah,
and one of the
Adam's here. Just shout out to Adam, who's recovering from a major surgery.
Fuck! What happened?
Oh, I mean, I don't know if it's my place to say, but he got. I guess because he said it on his stream. He had a spinal injection done a few days ago.
Oh fuck!
So he's just recovering. So, but yeah,
Yeah, well,
shout out to Adam. Subscribe to SCRYE Productions.
You know, that's the thing. I mean, I was debating even doing a live stream tonight, because what happened was that the last few days have been pretty rough on me emotionally. So yeah, my mom had to come down and like just check on me and everything.
Yeah. But you hold up okay though, right?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. But actually, I will be right back because my computer's about to die.
Okay.
Battery. So
well, I'll try to entertain the chat for a little bit here. Okay, so I see some of the Okay, so all right, I'll try to entertain the masses for a little bit here. Let me see. I saw a question here earlier that I want to answer. Oh my gosh, I am sorry. Anyway, I saw a question earlier there. Someone mentioned about an AR cut of Suicide Squad. I don't foresee that happening because as bad as Suicide Squad was, it made money. So I don't really think Warner Brothers is going to spend their sources like, doing the AR cut. But me personally, I would love to see it. I just don't see it happening. Let's see. Oh, he's back. There he is.
Well, actually, it's funny because I know Sean JTISREBORN, we're talking about different cuts of DC movies. You know who he's a huge advocator of? Release the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever.
Yeah, it's the 3-hour cut, right?
Yeah, and you know what?
I would watch that.
There's actually an alternate ending shot of the movie. It's not Batman and Robin running behind the bats in front of the bat signal. It actually was supposed to be a nod to the '89 Batman, where Batman is looking up at the bat signal, but it's both him and Robin.
Yeah, and there's also the thing with like the giant bat.
I'm telling you, man, a giant bat. Like I say, Knox, you full of shit. Yeah, so it's funny. Oh, yeah, one of my swords is just falling off. But yeah, I know there's a lot of cuts. Like, I mean, I don't even argue that. I'm surprised people aren't asking for a Schumacher cut of Batman and Robin.
I don't think anyone wants to watch that.
Well, I wonder if there's anything cut from the movie. If anything was left cut out that was too dark.
Yeah, see, the thing is, now with the Snyder Cut coming out, like, the floodgates are opened. You know, all these demands.
What I would love to see? I would love to see a cut of Man of Steel and it's hashtag release the Donner cut. Basically, take Man of Steel, edit it like the first Superman movie, and add John Williams music and just make it more lighter.
No.
You know, people say like, "Oh, John Williams was missing."
You can't make Man of Steel and copy what Donner and Christopher Reeve already did. I'm 100% against that. No, that's
I'll say this. This is actually people always try to say, "Oh, John Williams' music would have been fine for this movie." You know what would have been more appropriate if you had to choose somebody else's music? Go with Shirley Walker's theme from the animated series. I thought would have fit better for Man of Steel.
Yeah,
it's like a perfect balance of classic Superman theme by John Williams with a bit of darkness, a little bit, but not too much.
I wouldn't change the thing about Man of Steel personally. But like I said, the Schumacher cut intrigues me, and the AR cut, again, I don't think it will ever happen. I would love to see it for sure.
Can we get I'm surprised there isn't a Batfleck cut of Batman v Superman if he had any involvement in directing any of that stuff.
No, but I'm hoping. Here's the thing too: if the Snyder Cut's like really good, I'm really hoping that they'll. I mean, it's been rumored for a while. I hope Ben Affleck gets his prequel Batman series.
There's rumors they want to do it as an HBO series, like they want to do it. And you know what?
I'm all for that. I am perfectly fine with that, and I'm hoping Ben Affleck will be on board for it.
Here's what I want to see.
And bend the keys, like let them do it.
Here's what I want to see them do. If they're gonna do a prequel series or a prequel movie or a prequel trilogy, the last film has to be one comic adaptation. Death in the Family. Jason Todd. I want to see on the big screen Jason Todd get killed.
Right. Yo, can I spoil something for you? We're gonna get a flashback of Robin dying in the Snyder Cut.
Thank you. I want to see death. I've always wanted to see
death.
There's,
I really hope I'm not spoiling too much because I mean this stuff's out there already. Like because of the
we spoil shit all the time on this. Who gives a shit?
No. Kevin Smith already leaked the whole Snyder Cut before the Snyder Cut was even like being made. And one of the so there's gonna be a flashback in this movie that's gonna explain the whole this is why Jared Leto came back. They're gonna explain what happened with Robin, You know how there's the burnt down manor, Bruce Wayne's manor?
Yep.
It's Joker. Jared Leto's Joker knows who Bruce Wayne is. He burned it down and killed Robin.
So why didn't the Joker tell people who Batman was?
Because he's kind of like dingling. He's like kind of holding it over.
So it's just more. It's like, nah, you know what? It's too much fun. Let's fuck with his head.
Exactly.
You know, he's like, oh, turning him in is too easy. So that's the thing. I wonder if that's the thing, because yeah, like
that's why there's the burned down manor. Like, so I'm really like. So we're actually going to see this unfold in the Snyder.
I wonder if J.K. Simmons is coming back to do reshoots as Gordon.
I don't know if he did. Okay, so Gal Gadot did, Amber Heard did, Jared Leto did, Joe Manganiello did. I don't know if Henry Cavill did or not. Ben Affleck did.
I think they would have brought Cavill back because of the whole fucking mustache bullshit.
I don't know if he did or not. I think he was one of the ones that didn't. I
guarantee every shot in that movie.
Ezra Miller did.
I guarantee every shot in that movie with Superman and the mustache, they probably have to let's just reshoot that whole thing.
From the Josh Whedon version, there's not gonna be any footage of that movie in this movie.
Yeah, you know what? It makes me wonder if that cut's just gonna be erased from existence. Like nobody's gonna watch it ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like watch 10 years later, like I kind of like the Whedon cut. It's gonna have the opposite effect of the unaltered versions of Star Wars, where people are gonna like want that version.
I'm actually debating. Like I already said to myself, I'm gonna watch Man of Steel and BVS right before Snyder Cut comes out. I'm debating if I should rewatch the Josh Whedon cut.
Well, here's what I would advise: is what you want to do. Hang on, my sword is just fucking.
Just so I can see the differences, but at the same time, I'm like, I really don't want to ruin like I don't want to like sit through it again.
Look, there's only a few things in the Whedon cut I liked so far. First of all, Batman again. Only thing I give a shit about. Two. I thought like that Superman in like that Carol as aside from the mustache shit, that Superman is what I wanted. The characteristics, the change. I didn't mind that he became a much more in line with like the Reeves Superman.
Yeah,
I didn't mind that. But you know what? I mean, as much as I like Hans Zimmer and all that stuff, I actually thought Danny Elfman's work was one of the best things about that movie. Just to hear his Batman theme again.
Yeah, but they just copied and pasted, like I wasn't too thrilled with it personally. I can't wait to hear Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL and Justice League. So
it's just more about like I look at just hearing the Danny Elfman theme, because that to me is the definitive Batman theme. To hear that again was nice. I mean, it's not Michael Keaton, but it makes me think, like, because you compared that version of the theme to like the one Danny did previously. Now you want to see a whole cover of all the Danny Elfman tracks done in the style that he did for Justice League.
Yeah.
Like, there's part of it that's like a lot of it picked up from Batman Returns, which I like, because Batman Returns, I would say, is the best of the Batman scores. Because have you ever seen, there's a fan film trailer for an adaptation of the graphic novel Arkham Asylum, and it's a Spanish production. And if you go look up that fan trailer, that is everything I want in a Batman movie. Like, it's dark, gothic, R-rated as shit, scary. That is one thing I just really want to see them go back with Batman, because it's one thing I missed. Make him scary. It's not just he's intimidating the criminals with fear. The audience is like, oh, fuck. He's like a serial killer, not like a serial killer where he's killing people, but just his presence will scare the shit out of you. Make Batman scary. And that's my biggest problem. He's even when he's being a hero, he's not being a creature of the night. He's not being somebody who hunts.
I feel like Ben Affleck is the one that came the closest, because at least he's got the size and the intimidation factor.
Not only that, like the opening scene where he's on the wall crawling like a vampire, that shit, that was
all CGI.
No, but like that part, I was like, oh fuck.
I know what you're talking about. That was a great scene.
Well, I know it was CGI, but like when he's on the first shot of the wall, that's not CG. That's just him. but then it cuts to a CGI. But like that stuff's great. And you know what? I actually do like that with his Batman, where
and then I like how he branded the criminals too.
Not only did he brand them, but I love how Batman literally went to a warehouse that had human trafficking.
Yeah,
like that's something I want to see Batman do. I want him to go into like a warehouse and raid a human trafficking place.
Yeah, like I feel like the Ben Affleck came the closest to getting the character right, because you saw him do the detective work. He was brutal, you know, and he had the eyes and the look. So
people say that Val Kilmer was the closest to Kevin Conroy. Fuck that. It was Affleck. He was the closest to Kevin Conroy. Yeah. That was Kevin Conroy's Batman.
Well, no, in my mind, he was Frank Miller's Batman.
Well, Dark Knight Returns. Yeah. Like, the only thing is, like, one thing I kind of noticed this with the movie is that I think some of the reason why people were very skeptical when the movie was coming out and kind of almost boycotting it when they didn't want to see it was because when they announced it at Comic-Con the same time as Man of Steel, remember, this came out a year after The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. When they announced it, and you look at Man of Steel, and you look at the Wayne Tech logos, it's all the Bale Batman.
Yeah.
Everybody thought Bale was going to come back, and you know what?
They offered money to him, and he turned it down.
I think that's what the plan was, because if you look at the sequence where Bruce comes back to Gotham and he's now older, I think the plan is that Bale, what I pictured, like if they did
studio wanted Bale to come back, he said no. Zack Snyder wanted Affleck.
Yeah, but it's like if they did, let's just say they did do the Bale Batman. My theory would be it would be 10 years after So basically Man of Steel would take place 10 years after Dark Knight Rises. We have a much older Bruce Wayne. He's now settled with Selena Kyle. And we have Nightwing. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character is Nightwing patrolling Gotham. Yeah. But when the stuff in Man of Steel happens, that brings Bruce Wayne back. And that's why, and it gives him more of a reason to take out Superman. Now, if it was that Batman, I think it would have been more on par with the film, because like the thing is that they made it where it's sort of hard to tell why Batman's wanting to kill Superman. Yeah, because it's a new Batman. It's not one we've known before. But if they had used the 3 movies to kind of establish that this is a character we know, that we've like grown up with and developed with, we would have had more understanding.
Christopher Nolan did not want. He wanted his trilogy to be standalone. He didn't want to, go that route. And personally, I'm glad, because as I love the Christopher Nolan movies, unpopular opinion, I hate Christian Bale.
It's just cancer. I have throat cancer. I gotta catch the big one.
Everybody else in that movie, Heath Ledger, Gary Oldman, I love everything about those movies, but I hate Christian Bale as Batman. He doesn't have the eyes, he doesn't have the look, and I hate that stupid voice.
I'll say this with those movies, and because here's the thing, I love those movies too.
Yeah,
but I've actually started to notice, there are issues. Like Dark Knight Rises, I'll even say I actually do really like Dark Knight Rises. I love that film.
It's Matt Burkett's favorite Batman movie, by the way.
But I'll say this. The Dark Knight, and people say it's a perfect movie. It does have problems, and I do have issues with it. Mm-hmm. And it's really only 2 things. One, I think the only reason why people praise it is because of Heath Ledger. If Heath Ledger didn't die, I think this movie would have been a dud. This movie would not have done
that far. I thought Heath Ledger knocked it out of the park.
So. Well, he's the reason it just became the biggest movie of all time, I think. Yeah. If it wasn't, it would have only been half as successful.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest issues I have with the film was Two-Face. I did not like it the way they did it. Like, okay, the Harvey Dent stuff was fine. But when he became Two-Face, the whole character just spiraled out of control.
10 minutes of the movie.
Well, no, let me explain. Because first of all, it just felt like the studios wanted to do, because I think Nolan was teasing the idea of Two-Face maybe for a 3rd film, but the studio didn't know if he was going to make a 3rd film, so it was sort of the thing. It's sort of the Spider-Man 3 scenario where they didn't know if they were going to do Venom, so they just slapped him in at the 3rd act. Yeah. That's a big issue. The other big issue I have, that's not Two-Face. That's not Harvey Two-Face. The problem I have is that the Joker basically, I get the realism part of it, like the whole like trying to make it more realistic, and like
he didn't have split personality.
I want to get to that. So the Joker just basically made him another Joker. That's all it was. You know, and it takes a lot from Killing Joke, you know, the one bad day plot that Joker had. I get that. But you missed a good opportunity in doing the split personality. That's my biggest problem. There was no split personality, and that's Two-Face's entire freaking character.
Yeah.
That he's not, like, having a split personality. And they, like, the only one that did it close was the animated series. They had the balls to, and maybe the issue was they didn't want to, like, fuck up the whole multiple personality disorder that is an actual mental disorder, and they didn't want to offend people. But you could, look, Nolan's, I think, done that before, hasn't he?
Yeah, Memento.
Yeah, Memento. Why couldn't you just do Memento with Two-Face? And, you know, and it just felt like it's just, no, it wasn't even Two-Face. It was just a guy with anger issues who was just pushed.
Well, yeah, he's, you know, lived long enough to slowly become the villain, you know.
Yeah, I would have preferred if he actually was having almost like psychotic breakdowns where he becomes a totally different person.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I'm waiting for with Harvey Two-Face. And you know who I think?
Yeah, like I said, he became Two-Face for like 10 minutes and then he falls and that was it.
Yeah, it wasn't Two-Face, and I was really kind of disappointed. Like, when I saw it at first, I thought, okay, this is great. This is better than that Tommy Lee Jones shit we got, right? Where he's acting like a monkey, like, oh, yeah, what the fuck is that? But because, you know, the thing is, Bob Kane, when he created Two-Face, it was Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
And, like, and hell, I'm surprised that Matt Reeves hasn't done this. Cast Andy Serkis as Two-Face. Because all he has to do is the Gollum thing with a deep voice. Gollum is Two-Face.
Andy Serkis, he's going to be a good Alfred, though.
That's the thing. I was so like, that's an odd choice for Alfred because I was thinking either Two-Face or hell, the Man-Bat. Because, you know, Andy Serkis, king of motion capture, he would have been a great Man-Bat. You know? And that's one thing I think the movies are missing. We need more supernatural villains. There haven't been any since the 90s, like in terms of film. Like no Poison Ivy, no Mr. Freeze, no Man-Bat, no Clayface. Like let's get more of those guys.
Hey, I got a good fan cast for Mr. Freeze. You ready?
Patrick Stewart?
No.
Bryan Cranston.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Who?
Gus from Breaking Bad.
You know, I didn't watch Breaking Bad. I didn't watch it. It's not my thing. It's that and Walking Dead. It's not my thing.
People in the chat. No, listen. Giancarlo Esposito, people in the chat, back me up on this. Would that not be an excellent Mr. Freeze?
You know how people, here's what I would have done. You know how people said Bryan Cranston should have been Lex Luthor in Batman v Superman?
I agree.
No. Have him as Mr. Freeze. You know who I would have cast as Lex Luthor? Billy Zane. Like, think Titanic Cal, Billy Zane as Lex Luthor.
Billy Zane would be all right.
He would be so
Robert Reed knows what's up.
I really want to see Billy Zane as Lex Luthor. He would be, that role was made for him. But yeah, with Bryan Cranston, I don't see that. They only chose him because he was bald.
Yeah,
but if you just
wait a minute. You just said you never saw Breaking Bad. Watch Breaking Bad and then be like, okay, yeah, I can see this guy as Lex Luthor.
And it's the same thing with Godzilla, because the thing is like, I did like him in Godzilla, and I know he was just being, like, I know about the character he plays in Breaking Bad. But the thing is with 2014 Godzilla that I was pretty much promised is that he was going to be our Raymond Burr character of the series. He was going to be our Raymond Burr, and he kind of was for 20 minutes. What the hell? I go back and watch 2014, and I just, you know what?
I can't watch that movie anymore. I've watched it twice. I'm not gonna watch it anymore.
Like, can I just point out too is that because you know those reshoots they had in Rogue One.
Well, I'm not a Star Wars guy, but okay.
Okay, they had reshoots like literally months before they released Rogue One, and nobody knows what the reshoots were. You know what it was? It was that Darth Vader scene. That Darth Vader scene at the end of Rogue One when he's like mauling
or whatever.
No, when he's mauling down Rebel troopers like fucking Jason Voorhees and Jason X. Like, that was some Jason X shit. I loved it. But they reshot that because I guarantee the original cut of the movie, Disney saw that Gareth was doing the same shit that he did with Godzilla with Darth Vader. He was teasing him. And they knew if Gareth did the same shit with Darth Vader, the movie wasn't going to make money. They knew Darth Vader was what was going to make the money for that movie. So they told Gareth, you cannot do this again. What you did with Godzilla. You go back and you shoot new scenes with Darth Vader.
I wonder what happened. I'm not a fan whatsoever of Gareth Edwards, but I'm wondering what the hell happened to him, because ever since Rogue One, he's nowhere to be found. Like
I think he just, I don't know, maybe just people, maybe they just maybe because Rogue One did have production troubles, and maybe he's a fucking, you know what it is? He's a fucking tease. That's his problem. He's a great filmmaker. Yeah. He's a fucking tease. You know what?
I disagree. I don't think he's a great filmmaker.
He is the Don Bluth of action movies.
I saw Monsters long before 2014 came out, and I'm like, I watched that movie. I'm like, you're gonna hand the keys to this guy? And
well, I mean, look, at least I'll give credit to 2014. It is better than 98 that it is a Godzilla movie. That it is Godzilla on screen. Like, I look at that's what one thing I love is just say that's Godzilla. Okay, you got that right. Now fix it in the sequel. But
yeah, I just for me, the thing about 2014 is just like it was misleading. Like because the marketing was the world ends, Godzilla begins, the world ends.
Same. I was promised modern remake of 1954 about the allegories of Hiroshima, about basically in this one, Godzilla evolves a bit slower. Like, Bryan Cranston was our Raymond Burr, our Steve Martin, and we were gonna get, the classic tone of the original Gojira, and it was just a Dark Knight Showa Godzilla movie. That's all it was. Showa Godzilla movie meets the Dark Knight. And then, and hell, I would say it was pretty much, imagine if Christopher Nolan directed Terror of Mechagodzilla. That's the movie.
Yeah.
But, it was a Godzilla movie, and I just thought, okay, it's fine. Save it for the sequel. But you know what? I'll say this.
I appreciate Yeah, go ahead.
I consider the last bunch of Godzilla movies, this era that we're in, I don't know what it's officially called. I don't call it that. I can't pronounce that. So you know what I call it? I call it the legendary era, right? Okay. Because starting with 2014. But the best Godzilla movie of this era, I mean, as much as I love King of the Monsters, I really liked it. Shin Godzilla was the best movie of this era.
I agree.
Only because
I'm all for Shin Godzilla. That's number 5.
Minus the design. I love the design. It's fucked up as hell. It makes you almost feel sick, right? Looking at it.
Yeah.
But aside from the design, the tone and everything, that is what I wanted with 2014. I wanted literally a remake of Gojira. And what I loved what Japan did with it, instead of him being created from the atomic bombs, it was Fukushima.
Yeah.
He was basically a mutant lizard thing, fish thing, that was probably near the Fukushima plant during the earthquake. It exploded and it mutated him and made him a weird fuck thing. He made him a Pokemon.
The only thing I like about 2014 is that it brought Godzilla back into the limelight. That is it. I appreciate what the movie did for Godzilla in terms of marketing, the public awareness and all of that, and essentially launching this new era. But I hate everything about that movie. Everything.
Yeah, you know what? I get it's sort of my. There's one movie that I brought this up in my discussion video I did. I'm glad it did well, so we have what we have now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only thing. But yeah, there are. I think the problem also is that maybe Warner Brothers, when they made that movie, I don't know what the budget was.
160.
Yeah, compared to like King of the Monsters or other movies, I think they were very, very kind of cautious about the budget. And maybe that's why you don't see Godzilla that much, because they knew that they didn't want to make the same mistake as 98. They spend all the money and then it doesn't do well. So maybe they were very minimal on what they could show. So they were very minimal on their budget.
Yeah, but I feel like they still could have done more, but that's just me.
I would say if you cut it, if you do a new edit and you do new shots with the monsters, if you show the monsters fighting, here's how I would have fixed it. If you do new scenes of the monsters fighting and you show that, and then you add the Akira Ifukube score to that, you also brighten
the scene.
And also, if you brighten it where you can fucking see it,
you
would have had a fine Godzilla movie.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm sure we all wish we could have been producers of the film, could have seen an early cut and say, "Hey, wait, we can't release this." You know, in a perfect world, I wish we could have done that. I feel like you and me or anybody in the chat here, we could have prevented that from, happening if we were like, on set and say, "Hey, we can't release this movie. We need to make a few changes and whatnot."
Yeah, I mean, I was watching. One thing I do like that the DC animated movies are doing, they're doing a lot of stuff that's just kind of like they take these older versions of the characters and they bring them back. Like, I really dug Return of the Caped Crusaders. I did see Batman versus Two-Face.
Batman versus Two-Face.
I did see that. Yeah, it wasn't as good as the last one, but it was still fun to see.
It's still good. It's
an
still
Adam West Batman movie. Now, I would even say do that with other versions. I would say do a third Tim Burton Batman movie with the cast, but in animation.
Yeah.
Do Tim Burton's third Batman.
I know. I want a Batman Beyond movie set in that same universe.
Yeah, like live action, but do if you're going to continue like the Tim Burton stuff, do that the one he had planned in animation. You can get Michael Keaton to play.
As long as Tim Burton has his hands on it, yes, I'm all for it.
And then same thing with Joel Schumacher. You could do Batman Triumphant. You could still do that. You can, because Val Kilmer has actually come out and said he would love to come back to do something for Batman. He said he would love to voice him.
No, now you're getting carried away, dude.
Okay, well, maybe George Clooney. Maybe George. Get George, Do him just, just do, because the thing is, Schumacher said before he passed away, he did want to do more with Batman. He wanted to go back and do more with Batman. He actually did state that. He said he wanted to do more with the character. He wanted to do a comic series or something.
To answer Robert in the chat, yes, I would love to see a Nicolas Cage animated Superman movie directed by Tim Burton. Absolutely.
Yeah, do Superman Lives as an animated movie.
Yes. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Do Superman Flyby as an animated movie.
Have you seen the Death of Superman Lives, the documentary?
I have seen that. Like the fact what got me
that
is
was
they were going to get Batman.
Documentary.
The fact they were going to get, who were they going to get to be Batman? Was it Michael Keaton?
Oh, I don't remember. I
heard that in the I remember in the documentary they said there was going to be a cameo from Batman, but which one? Was it going to be Keaton? Was it going to be Kilmer? Was it going to be Clooney?
Oh, I don't know about that. I just, but I have to rewatch it. I don't remember them saying anything about Batman cameo on that.
Now I don't know if you know much about this. I heard something about J.J. Abrams is doing something with Superman. He's finally getting his Superman.
Okay, so man, we haven't heard much on that news lately. So I guess J.J. Abrams made a deal. Warner Brothers made a deal with J.J. Abrams. They haven't said if he's going to produce or direct, but they're saying that he's going to get involved with a new Superman movie. They haven't said if it's going to be Henry Cavill, if it's going to be a continuation or a new altogether. But they said they made a deal with J.J. Abrams being involved with a Superman movie in some capacity.
They just finally get that Superman Flyby script they planned like 20 years ago. They finally get that going. But no, here's what I think, because when I heard that, I knew exactly what I think I know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to do basically a Richard Donner Superman. And basically, because think about it, Abrams has brought back Star Trek. He did Star Wars. It's all nostalgia. Like, JJ's the king of nostalgia. So they know he'll make money for them. And they know Superman's a bit in trouble. It's a little too dark. So why don't we lighten it up and bring it back to the Donner stuff? So I wonder if there's going to be two individual Superman movies with Cavill where he does both the dark Superman and the lighthearted Superman.
I'm hoping that I'd like to see him. Here's what I want. This is just my personal wish list. Man of Steel 2, where Henry Cavill's Superman takes on Brainiac. That's what I want.
Bizarro. Fucking Bizarro. I love Bizarro.
They need to do Brainiac first. If we're gonna see Darkseid in this Snyder Cut, the next big villain we need to see on screen is Brainiac.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? To be honest, I don't know many Superman villains outside of General Zod and Lex Luthor. That's all I know.
There's a lot of good villains out there. You got Metallo as another good one. We could, he's the robot made with that's powered by.
I like that one. I do like Bizarro. I do like Brainiac. But that's all I know. It's not like Batman, who's got like a bajillion rogues galleries.
Yeah, they gotta do Brainiac.
Well, they've been trying to for fucking years.
And I would love to see Vandal Savage come in eventually. He'd probably be more appropriate against Wonder Woman than Superman, though. But
I want to know what the hell if they're gonna do anything with Green Lantern.
Rumor is we're gonna see Green Lantern in the Snyder Cut.
Okay, but the question is who's gonna play him? Imagine if it's Ryan Reynolds.
There's no. Well, here's the thing though. There's gonna be HBO Max is having a Green Lantern TV show or like series.
Another one. Series,
not a movie. Series.
I know, but another series. There wasn't that crappy animated series that was awful.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a live action. It's gonna be separate from the DCEU.
Yeah, I wonder, but which Green Lantern are they gonna do? Hal Jordan?
No, it's gonna be the Jessica, the female Green Lantern.
Oh, okay, okay. I would have liked to see Hal Jordan, but
it's gonna be it's gonna be the whole Green Lantern Corps. And then and then also in the Snyder Cut, we're gonna get Martian Manhunter too.
Okay, yeah, because I think they confirmed that general guy turned out to be Martian Manhunter.
Henry. Is or Harry. Cool. To be Harry. I don't remember the actor's name, but yeah, the general there. He
was Martian Manhunter the whole time.
The whole time, Zack Snyder.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll say this: I want one thing with the Flashpoint movie. That's probably the one I'm looking forward to because Michael Keaton. One thing I want to see with the trailer, they have to do one thing with the trailer for the Flash movie. They have to play the song by Queen. They just have to.
No, stop it.
I know it doesn't make sense, but if you could put freaking Iron Man, the song in the trailer for Iron Man, come on. Put Flash in there. I think it would actually sound pretty cool in the theater to hear that. I mean, they did that in the Flash show, but to hear that in the trailer, it's like, yeah, okay, I'll go see this. Like, I know where they would immediately stop the song. When the logo shows up, you just play the part where it's like, he's saved with the mighty hand, every man, every woman, every child with the mighty flash. And it just says, coming soon. Like, people tell me I can actually edit trailers so well that I can come up with this shit in my sleep.
Hey, I dug your fan-made Godzilla vs. Kong trailer that she showed on Monstrosities. That was really good.
Have you seen my other fan trailers?
Not all of them. I'm still trying to get caught up with your content.
Okay, I did 2 trailers for the 2 canceled Universal Kong movies that were in the 70s and the 90s. I did 2 trailers for those. I did The Legend of King Kong, which the story about the Universal Kong from the 70s is because it was obviously based on the public domain novel, and there was a whole court case. But Universal, they actually got pretty far. They had a script by Bull Goldman, who did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. They got him to write it. And I have that script. It's a great script.
Sorry, someone in the chat just pointed out Sam Benjamin will be playing Hal Jordan in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Okay, I was not aware of that. Okay.
Was Sam Benjamin?
Christ, I don't really know, but the fact that it's actually gonna be Hal Jordan. Okay, I'm intrigued. I knew that they were talking about doing a Green Lantern appearance. Now we know.
It's Ryan Reynolds from a parallel universe.
No, it's not. It's not Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. So with So with Legend of King Kong, they got pretty far. They had a script. I actually have really rare storyboards that are really you can't find them anywhere. But they even had they were gonna originally do stop motion by Jim Danforth, who was a friend of Harryhausen's. So they were gonna go. He actually did When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth. The sequel to 1 Million Years BC. So he was going to do the animation, but then it started to be Universal started cutting costs on the budget. So they ended up deciding to go with Chris Mueller Jr. to do the effects, and he did The Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Deadly Mantis, The Land Unknown, which is a horrible 50s dinosaur movie, but with Kong. And one of the things they were actually going to sell it was the whole sense around that they had marketed with Earthquake with Charlton Heston, with the whole sense around. So that was going to be a thing. They even had a cast. They had, for Carl Denham, it was going to be Peter Falk, like Columbo Peter Falk. Ann Darrow was Susan Blakely. And for Jack, it was the tie between Nick Nolte or Robert Redford.
Yeah.
To play Jack Driscoll. So they were going to make this, and I made a fan trailer of it, and they were even going to go, they were so cutting costs they were going to reuse Max Steiner's score from the original, right?
Yeah.
So I cut a trailer together with all that information. I used films from other movies that the actors have done. So with Peter Falk, I used Columbo footage. I used footage from that one Muppet movie he was in. There's one of them up where he's sitting with Kermit, because I used that scene where he's talking with like Ann Darrow and like a scene. So Susan Blakely, I used some sort of like footage from some crime movie she was in, and Robert Redford, I used footage from 3 Days of the Condor and The Great Gatsby. So I was kind of cutting, because I had to make it look like a 1930s thing. And then I had JTISREBORN do an impression of, who was the guy who did the trailers for the Jaws movies, like the voice, you know, there was a creature, that old guy. I can't remember what his name is, but you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, that's the typical trailer voice guy. Yeah.
So he did the impression of that. So that's on my channel. And then
the world.
yeah, when I did the 96 calling that Jackson was originally going to make, which was basically think his remake, but in the tone of the 1999 Mummy. Like the Brendan Fraser Mummy, that tone.
Yeah. Like
Indiana Jonesy. So the way I did that trailer was I basically said, I want to make this the most 90s adventure trailer ever. So because the cast for that was, you know, George Clooney, Robert De Niro, Kate Winslet, all that stuff. So footage I used was from Mighty Joe 98, Heavenly Creatures. I used Oh Brother, Where Art Thou footage. I used footage from The Untouchables, and what I did was I knew the exact music to use, because I knew these pieces of music were used in every trailer in the 90s. It was Backdraft, the soundtrack to Backdraft was used in every trailer, like Jurassic Park and all that stuff. I used music from Drop Zone. Like you ever seen Drop Zone?
I have not.
Okay, it's a movie Hans Zimmer did the score for. Like it was like it, and there's one track called I can't remember what it's called, but it's a track where, because in the movie there's like this skydiving scene. It's such an odd scene for this music to be in. There's a skydiving scene, and this guy can't get his parachute, so he's falling to his death. So one of these guys has to like torpedo to save this guy. But the music they play sounds very similar to Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, and so they played that in every swashbuckler film trailer, like Mask of Zorro, Pirates of the Caribbean. They played that in every trailer, right? So I used that, and then the one trailer music I used, and you got to, it's like the one track you use at the end of every 90s trailer, the theme to Dragonheart.
Okay.
See, you know how like when you see Dragonheart, and then you hear that song in like every other trailer?
Yeah.
So if you go look those up, you'll see it is like the most generic 90s trailer ever. And I'm like, and people have told me I want to see that movie now.
Okay, I can dig it. So listen, I'm going to scoot in like 10 minutes because it's after midnight and I got work in the morning.
Oh Christ, yeah. I don't even know if Matt's going to be able to make it. I think I tried to reach out to him, he couldn't make it. So
a couple things before I peace out here I want to discuss with you. First and foremost, I see that question there because you mentioned Brendan Fraser. So Jared Osborne, I don't know if I could see Brendan Fraser in his prime as Superman. That's just me. I know because he asked several times, and we just mentioned Brendan Fraser just a second ago. So listen, a couple things. One, you need to go and watch Breaking Bad. You will not regret it. I promise you.
My parents watched it. I'll say that they watched that and Sons of Anarchy.
Both are good shows, but man, Breaking Bad is maybe one of the best show of all time for real. And Better Call Saul is just as good.
I'm just saying, I'm very picky with my taste in shows. Like my favorite show of all time is Yasha.
I'm gonna tell you right now, just watch the first episode. If you don't like it and you don't get hooked, then stop. Well, I feel if you watch the first episode of Breaking Bad, you'll be hooked and you'll go on that journey. You'll binge 10 episodes in a day and won't even realize it. Another show, I don't know if you've seen it or not. I'm just recommending it to. Maybe you've seen it. The Boys on Amazon Prime.
I heard that's good. That's like I heard it's like Sky High, but it was rated R.
Basically. It's a lot more than that. It's great. So watch that one. And then finally, keep it in the Godzilla and Kong realm. I've always wanted to talk to you about this. So Abara, Horror of the Deep.
You know what? I want to just say,
yes,
I'm not a big fan of the Showa era. I don't like it when he's 60s Batman campy. I don't like it. Like my gap of the worst of that era is Son of Godzilla to Godzilla versus Hedorah. That's the era I just can't watch those movies. They're really bad.
So, okay. Well,
I love Ebra, Horror of the Deep. I love that movie to death.
So do I. But I think the movie would have been better with Kong.
Yes. So here's what it was, is that apparently from what I heard, it's either before or after King Kong Escapes. I can't remember, but I think King Kong Escapes happened first. Right? And because
no, King Kong Escapes was after Ebra.
Okay, so basically what they
King
wanted...
Kong Escapes because the rights were expiring, so they pumped that movie out.
Yeah, so basically I think what happened was that they originally wanted to do that movie, but Rankin Bass and the company did not like the script. So they had to rewrite the whole script, and they had this one script left over, and they're like, we don't know what to do with it. So they said, just replace Kong with Godzilla.
And because it was more marketable. Here's the thing. Now, as you said, I like that movie, and I said it to the Kong UNMADE, your friend there at Kong UNMADE, because we talked about it. I felt like Ebra is like not a threat to Godzilla because Godzilla's an amphibian. But if you replace Godzilla with Kong, Ebra is a threat to Kong.
He is the equivalent of one of those giant spiders from the spider pit.
Yeah.
He's one of those like kind of insect creatures that would be in the spider pit scene attacking people in the original film.
Yeah, and just the rock throwing and falling.
And the giant bird, it's like the pterodactyl.
Yeah, I just feel like, man.
The only thing I think you could have done with Mothra. I didn't like Mothra on Kong.
Kong and Mothra are going at it, but the thing is, like, Ebra is just not a threat to Godzilla because Godzilla is an amphibian. It was just, I just think the dynamic would have been better with Kong, and it's just a damn shame that,
Yeah, and I mean, like, you have Kong with the girl and, you know, all that jazz. Like, and it's funny because James brought up the whole Mandela effect about Godzilla holding the girl in his hands. I remember that as a kid. I kind of remember him holding her. But you know what it was? The reason the memory stuck was not just the fact that, like, it was false memory that I kind of remember it, but it was also because I remember at the same time I got into Godzilla, I was also into Reptar. And if you go watch the the second Rugrats movie, when they build that giant mech Reptar that attacks Paris with the giant mech snail, there's a scene where Angelica is falling and the Reptar grabs her in his hands, and is holding her. And like, that's where I think the memory kind of like the shift happened.
Yeah.
In there. Which, by the way, if you want, what I love,
well, there are shots though. If you look back, there's some green screen shots where you see Godzilla's claw like just above Kumi Mizumi's character there.
That's like a Kong 76 shot almost with like just Lang and shit. But I was gonna point out, like, if you want to watch obviously we all grew up with Rugrats and Reptar and shit. The best Reptar episode is Runaway Reptar. It's a huge nod to Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Hey, Jared Osborne just sent you a challenge.
Oh boy, what's this? Do you think you ever make? Oh, you know what? I could do that. I have Ebra Horror from the Deep. I have King. Basically, all I have to do is just edit the stuff from King Kong Escapes, and that's it. I've been pretty easy.
Where Kong throws the rock at the serpent.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure somebody's probably already done that. You know, because I did that with...
no. I'm intrigued by that. I'd love to see you take that.
You need to watch my fan trailer for the Heisei King Kong versus Godzilla that I did, because I basically took footage from King Kong Lives and replaced it with all the shots of King Ghidorah from the trailer.
Okay, I'll have to check that out, dude.
And then I did the same thing with Godzilla versus Mecha Kong. That was another project they were going to do. But
I know. That was I know that whole story. So
one more thing before we go. In terms of a topic, I don't know if you've heard this news.
Yeah, what?
But you know Tarantino has been wanting to do a sequel to Django?
Yes, there was a comic. Yeah.
Well, here's what it is. Apparently, he wants to do a sequel. Sony's all for it. They want to do a sequel, but he wants to do it as an actual film, but as a crossover with Zorro. Now, here's the thing. Sony has, since The Mask of Zorro, owned the movie rights to the character in America. The theory has been going around that they want to do the Django sequel with Tarantino, and even Robert Rodriguez has had interest because, you know, he was actually attached to Mask of Zorro before they replaced him with Michael, what's his name? Who's the director? Martin Campbell. There's rumors they've been talking with Antonio Banderas to come back. And the rumor would be that the Django movie universe and Mask of Zorro share the same continuity. And now here's the thing. I know it's like, well, Banderas is old. Well, first of all, in the comic, he's an aged Zorro. He is a very old Zorro.
Yeah.
Second of all, he just made an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel a few years ago for a Halloween special. And Jimmy was dressed as a giant peanut, but he came out in the original costume he wore in the films. Yeah. And people said he's like almost at 60 years old. He still looks good in the costume.
Yeah, I don't knock that at all. I just, I don't know. I would like to see a sequel, but not. But
he did an interview recently. He did an interview recently saying that if he did do another one, he would be the Anthony Hopkins role. He would be passing the torch to the next generation. Mm-hmm. Now, here's what I would do. If you were going to do this as a sequel, this would obviously be his last movie, and that you'd have to kill off Zorro at the end. You have to have him die. And have him die. Make this his last adventure. You know, and then after that, because Sony has been talking about rebooting it and just do the Mark of Zorro, which I'm okay with. Go back to look, I'm kind of like I love Banderas, but I'm sick of Alejandro. Let's go back to Don Diego, the original Zorro. But my way of doing the sequel is that because you think, okay, well, he would have passed the torch on to his son from the Legend of Zorro. How about where both Elena and his son are dead? That they died. Which would suck because I'm a big Catherine Zeta-Jones fan. Like that, she was my first celebrity. Dude, she was my first celebrity crush.
Oh yeah.
Holy, that fucking Zorro. Oh my god. She still looks good.
Yes, she does.
How is she not in any fucking comic book movie right now? How is she? Know who she would be great in the Zack Snyderverse? She would be a great Poison Ivy.
Yeah, but she might be a little. I mean,
well, Ben Affleck, like this timeline, Ben Affleck, she'd be a great Poison Ivy, or at least somebody from the Amazon.
I'm thinking, you know what? I mean, fan casting Poison Ivy, that could be a good one. But I kind of pictured in my mind that Poison Ivy would be 10 years younger than Batman. If we're talking the Snyderverse. So yeah, I don't know who I'd cast as Poison Ivy.
But that's the thing, because look, what's Catherine Zeta-Jones even doing aside from selling awesome furniture and shit on her Facebook page? And you should say, like, they're kind of cool. Like, I do follow her on Facebook. She's got some cool stuff. But no, it's more about what is she doing right now? And she's a great actress, one of the best in the business. Look, I think she's gotten her Academy Award. I think she's gotten her fame in Hollywood.
She won Chicago. She won for Chicago.
Yeah. Michael Douglas, her husband's doing fucking Ant-Man. Give her a comic book movie. I think she would do good in a comic book movie.
Yeah, she would. I just don't know who she'd play though.
Like, who is a character they haven't done yet? And like Marvel, DC, like something. I would see her in like either a Poison Ivy or in the Amazon, like one of the Wonder Woman characters in the Amazon.
Yeah,
like Wonder Woman character. Like there's places you can. I think she needs to be in more. There's one movie she's in that I want to see that she did years ago, where she apparently plays like a divorced wife who moves to New York and she dates a younger guy, right, younger than him. Like it's some weird chick flick, but it kind of has me intrigued. Because I just look at the kid who's dating her in this movie. I'm like, I wish that was me.
Exactly, right?
So yeah, with Zorro, I think that's what they should do. Set it up where he's like Ben Affleck's Batman. He's a damaged Zorro. His wife and son are dead, and he's now back to being a vigilante. Like he's back. He's on the run. Yeah. He doesn't have a house. He doesn't have anywhere to go. He's a marked man on the run. And to come across Django and they fight side by side and have it where he sacrifices himself or something. Hell, maybe he could tell Django, you must now wear the mask. You need to wear the mask or something, or maybe have it where this is the last Zorro. Django takes over and respects his new friend.
Possibly, yeah. We'll see how that goes. All right, so I gotta call it night, dude, because I'm dragging ass, and I got work tomorrow, and I got a live stream tomorrow. So
oh god, oh man.
So is it if I do a shameless plug before I go?
Absolutely, go right ahead, man. Go ahead.
So yes, first and foremost, Jack, thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on late. Thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging out with me. I'm sorry, we didn't get to a lot of your questions and stuff. I was engaged with Jack's conversation. It was a lot of fun. But yes, I do have a channel. It's called Nerd Cage Live. Please subscribe. We go live every Thursday night, and we're also a podcast. You can find us now not just on YouTube, but also on like Spotify, Podbean, Amazon, everything. So we release we do recorded podcasts every week, and we do the live stream every Thursday night. We have various guests on, and tomorrow night, our special guest for tomorrow night, Ill Will, the drummer from the band Body Count. That's Ice-T's metal band. The drummer, Ill Will, is going to be on Nerd Cage Live tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then next week, we're having the guys from Real Talk. And the end of February, we are having Alexander the Swell. So really, really hope everyone can subscribe to Nerd Cage Live. I'm like this close to 300 subscribers, so please.
Wasn't Ice-T in Tank Girl?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I keep confusing him with like being in Warriors of Virtual. And you know what? I would say this: if you ever got like say Coolio on your podcast,
oh my gosh,
you know what you need to ask him about? Batman and Robin, because he was in that movie, right?
Yeah, he was one of the gangs there in the Neon there.
Yeah, you got to ask him about that. Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we do have some musicians come on our show. If I ever get Coolio, I'll definitely ask him about Batman.
There's one musician I would recommend bringing on, and he's actually a composer for a lot of fan films and projects. He's a huge Jurassic Park fan. Look up Brachio InGen, i.e. Bernard Kier. He did the score for My Kong. He did the score for the fan film Prime Survival, the Jurassic Park fan film. Wonderful guy to talk to.
And if you guys want to mark your calendars too, real quick before I go, we're gonna ride this HBO Max. Jack, you can still be on the screen.
That's fine. That's all good.
Okay, so we are definitely doing. We're riding this HBO Max wave really, really hard. We got 3 upcoming watch parties. Saturday, the 27th of March, we're gonna do a Snyder Cut watch party. The 15th of April, we're going to be doing the Godzilla vs. Kong watch party. The 29th of April, we're doing the Mortal Kombat reboot watch party. So those should be fun. We had a blast with our first couple of watch parties. So
if the Mortal Kombat reboot does not have the theme song, I'm going to be pissed. You have to. I don't give a damn if it's a reboot. You have to put that is the definitive theme.
At least in the credits.
At least in the, I don't want to hear dun 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 test your might. Love that shit. Like I don't even play much Mortal Kombat, but I love that song. I have the first 3. I have the first 3 original games, but man, Mortal Kombat's shit.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's awesome. I wanted to bring up too very quickly. LUNACHI Bunny at some point wants to cosplay. I think what's the green chick? What's her name?
Jade. Yeah,
she wants to cosplay that at some point. So go follow her on Instagram and shit.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So yeah. So really, like I said, hopefully, again, Jack, thanks for having me on.
Anytime, man. Anytime you want to jump on, every time I'll do a stream, I'll send you a link.
Okay, that's very kind of you, man. It's just tough with my my schedule. Weekends I'm totally free. It's just during the week it's tough because I work.
Yeah, it's like Wednesdays are the only times I get to stream because it's really my only day off when I'm not posting videos. But yeah. Wednesdays I work both my jobs, so if I'm home early enough, I love jumping on. So yeah. Anytime. I might do more of these. I would love to do more with like a big group at some point. See, so Saturday is my birthday. I'm gonna probably be doing something with a friend. But if I'm just not doing anything, maybe even on the Sunday, I might have all you guys up if you guys want to like come up, like do a whole big freaking podcast from a birthday.
Yeah, and Big Jack, we gotta have you on sometime soon on Nerd Cage too.
Yeah, I do want to do something. If it's something Kong related, count me in. Like if it's something like Kong 76 or 33 or canceled projects, count me in. I will be there to talk your bloody ears off.
Absolutely.
You'll be like Mr. Potato Head in Toy Story 3, just oh my God, shut this kid up. He's going
it's all good. No. We would love to have you on the channel, and you bring your audience with you, and cross.
I think me and SCRYE and Alex want to discuss Fallen Kingdom together because that will be interesting. Because I think they like it, I hate it. In fact, I actually say that Fallen Kingdom is worse than Jurassic Park 3.
I hate both Jurassic World movies.
No, look. I liked 4 because I was waiting for 10 years for a sequel. And it was worth the wait. 5 was a censored political mess.
I only like the first one. That's it. I'm one of those people.
Lost World, I like.
The other ones.
I hate, but look, it made me appreciate 3 more. Is all I'm saying. It made me appreciate what I thought was the worst one more.
Yeah,
so, that would be an interesting discussion because I have some things to say about that movie.
Yeah. I guess.
Yes, it's bad when I appreciate the one with the raptor going Alan more than what the fuck was that 2 years ago.
Yeah, I just like I said, for me, it's just the first. First one's the best one.
Like,
By the way, did you see that Pee Wee Herman Jurassic Park trailer?
No.
Oh my God.
I've heard of it. Yeah, because like
it just came out like a couple days ago.
You brought up Pee Wee Herman. I thought you were gonna be like, have you seen the drug commercials? Like this?
No. It's a brand new. A fan made trailer took Jurassic Park, replaced all the dinosaurs with Pee Wee Herman.
That sounds like an old YTMND joke.
Dude, but it's flawless. Like, you can't even tell. It really looks...
Is there a part where he says, this is crack?
No.
Oh!
It's really funny. The scene where the T-Rex is chasing the car, it's Pee Wee on his bike.
With large marks.
So great, dude.
You're talking to a kid who never grew up with Pee Wee Herman. It was past his time.
Oh, man.
Never grew up with Pee Wee Herman. I was past my time.
You got to see this trailer. I'm telling you, it'll brighten your day.
Yeah, well,
Pee Wee Herman Jurassic Park. You can't miss it. It's probably got
Fallen Kingdom.
It's probably got 100 million views by now. It just hit. It broke.
Are you serious? Why is it the dumbest shit gets the most hits?
Dude, but it's done so well though. Like, you can't like
how much money
the way they put Pee Wee in there. It doesn't even like, it's flawless.
How much money do you think that guy who made it made?
Enough.
Oh, he probably made it.
He probably made enough to live off the rest of his life, dude.
Probably.
Yeah.
Lucky motherfucker. Anyway, I gotta take off too because like it's almost.
Okay, all right.
Well, you can take off now if you want. It's just because I didn't want to stall you because I know you have to do your live stream and stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen again. Thanks very much to you, Jack. Can't wait to have you on our show sometime. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Like I said, we're streaming tomorrow. If you haven't checked out Nerd Cage, please check it out. Mark and I. We have a good dynamic, I feel, and I really hope you guys would enjoy it. So anyway, thank you very much, Jack. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Listen, Jack, stay warm, stay safe, and if I don't talk to you before Saturday, have a fantastic birthday, man.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, Jay. You take it easy, all right?
Of course. All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, see ya. So, guys, thank you all so much for joining our live stream. If you have any more questions, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to support us on Patreon. Just $1 more will get you early access to all of our content, as well as other special features. On top of that, guys, a couple shout-outs I want to give out before I go to a few very important people this year who are wanting to get support. Please go subscribe to HEWY TOONMORE of HEWY's Anime and Movie Reviews. He needs his support on Patreon to help fund. We want him to get his show back. Go subscribe to Indie Fan. He does amazing reviews of fan films, and he is going through a bit of a pickle right now. So please go support his stuff. Kaiju Network, amazing reporter on Kaiju-related news, on Godzilla and so on. JTISREBORN, same thing. Wonderful guy to work with. Obscure Media TV. Bradley Dunn. Go subscribe to his channel. Obscure Media is amazing. And then, of course, Monstrosities, Nerd Cage Live, SCRYE Productions, and then 2 very important friends of mine. One is BATTYALANA on Instagram. Please go follow her cosplays. A lot of these guys have been MIA lately because of just the stress of COVID, but any following will support them and help them and encourage them to keep doing their work. And especially LUNACHI Bunny, amazing cosplayer, my best friend at this point. She has been a huge supporter of our channel. She wants to do YouTube stuff more. We've got some plans she wants to work with us on. Guys, go subscribe to her channel. Link in the description down below. I would really appreciate it, and that would be a great birthday present for me. And if you want to do that, and if you want to go even further, I've left in the description my Amazon wish list if you want to send us stuff through the mail. And also go check out the book, Kong Unmade. I have played a part in this book. You can order it on Amazon. It's a wonderful read. So that's all there is. Tune in tomorrow morning. I know it's technically tomorrow, but tune in the morning. You will be seeing a 1-minute movie of By the Sword. One of my favorite, one of the most underrated movies. We're doing some other movies outside of Batman. So we're going to try, we don't know when the next one will be after that, but we're slowly making more 1-minute movies. So until the next video, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off. I might come back on the weekend for my birthday, but if not, thank you all so much for the birthday wishes, for the amazing donations, for the amazing gifts, for just sticking around, having fun with us, staying subscribed. It means the world to me. You guys, despite COVID going on, despite the lockdown, despite this week being a bit of a stressful time for me, you guys are worth every penny of my time in helping me get through life, especially during this time. So until then, see you later. Whatever. I'm out. I'm going to have a birthday.